Grantham, aged 9 years and 5 months, eldest son and heir apparent to the 9th Earl of McElreath. The Right Honourable Jared Shepherdston, 22nd Earl of Westmore, aged 10 years and 3 months, eldest son and heir apparent to the 4th Marquess of Shepherdston. League member added on this 7th day of January in the year of our Lord 1812, Daniel, 9th Duke of Sussex, aged 26 years and 8 months. Prologue. From Henry V by William Shakespeare. If we are marked to die, we are enough to do our country loss, and if to live, the fewer men, the greater share of honour. Derbyshire, England, 1793. The Knights Guild School for Gentlemen. "Don't look down," Jared Shepherdston, 22nd Earl of Westmore, ordered, as he and Griffin Abernathy, 17th Viscount Abernathy, gave Colin McElreath, 27th Viscount Grantham, a leg up onto the outer wall of the bell tower that stood watch over the quadrangle in the centre of the Knights Guild property. "There's nothing to fear, just keep your mind on what you're doing and you'll be fine. And whatever you do, Colin, don't look down." Griffin gave Colin one last boost up the wall, then stepped away and stood shoulder to shoulder with Jared, to watch as their free fellow began the Herculean task of overcoming his fear of heights by climbing the Knights Guild bell tower. "Don't look down. There's nothing to fear. Just keep your mind on what you're doing and you'll be fine." Colin pressed his face against the moss growing between the crevices in the mortar in the old stone wall and reached up, feeling for a handhold as he inched his way up the tower. He clenched his teeth, jammed the toe of his boot into a crevice, and slowly crept skyward. "Don't look down." Easy for them to say. Jared and Griffin had their feet firmly planted on English soil. They weren't climbing the outside of a bell tower in the middle of the night in order to conquer their aversion to heights. But then his cohorts, the two other free fellows, didn't fear a bit of altitude. They were destined to become England and Scotland's greatest heroes, and heroes were above such foibles. And he would be too. After tonight. Colin took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and fought the fear. It was well after midnight, but it wasn't completely dark. The pale sliver of moonlight was enough to illuminate his way. Colin didn't know whether that made the journey easier or harder. It was a long way to the quadrangle below. "Don't look down." Grunting with the effort, Colin felt for the next handhold. He gripped the stone with his hands and planted his right foot into a foothold, pulling with his arms while pushing with his feet, propelling himself forward toward his goal. Left hand, right foot, right hand, left foot. Pulling and pushing and pulling in rhythm as he moved higher and higher, until the bit of mortar providing a foothold in the stone beneath his right foot tumbled to the quadrangle. Colin tightened his grip, clinging to the wall, fighting the terror threatening to overtake him. Perspiration beaded his upper lip, and his heart pounded against his chest as he scrambled to regain his foothold and keep from falling. "Thunderation!" Griffin swore, ducking as bits of stone and mortar rained down on the courtyard. "He missed a foothold. He's slipping." Jared looked up, shielding his eyes with his hand as he squinted into the night sky, mentally gauging Colin's progress. "He's hit that tricky bit, but he's made it halfway, and I'll wager he hasn't wasted a single thought on anything except reaching the top of the tower," he replied, with the greater wisdom of his advanced age of 10 years and 6 months. "He'll be all right." "If the fall doesn't kill him," Griffin replied. "I don't think he's far enough off the ground for the fall to kill him," Jared said. "The most he'll do is break an arm or a leg, and injure his stubborn Scots pride." "Well, then he'll make it," Griff predicted. "He knows we're watching, and he's far too proud to allow us to see him fail." Jared nodded. especially since his disappointment over Esme Kelverton is the reason for all of this.